In standard open-faced Chinese poker, the objective is to tally up the most points through beating your opponent with the best possible poker hand. Each player will ultimately receive 13 cards, and throughout the course of the game will need to arrange their cards into 3 different rows: the bottom, middle, and top. Following the standard poker hand rankings, the bottom row must be stronger or equal to the middle row, and the middle row must be stronger than the top row. If your final hand doesn't follow this rule, you will end up with a foul hand. In this case, the high queen in the top row beat the high 10 in the middle row. For the ultimate beginner, let's go over the hand rankings. Without knowing them, you won't know how to properly set up your cards. Starting with the lowest ranking hand, we have a high card. Next we have a pair, a 2 pair, a 3 of a kind, or trips. Then we have a straight, which are 5 cards in numerical sequence. Following a straight, we have a full house, which consists of 3 cards of the same rank and a pair. Then we have a 4 of a kind, or quads, a straight flush, which is a straight of the same suit, and finally a royal flush, which consists of a 10, jack, queen, king, and ace, all of the same suit. This is the highest ranking hand and can't be beat. Again, if you don't know the hand rankings, you won't be able to properly set up your cards. Now that we know our hand rankings, let's begin a game of open-faced Chinese poker. At the start of each game, each player will receive 5 cards face down and will need to arrange their cards face up on the table, making it clear which cards they're allocating to their bottom, middle, and top rows. Once the cards are placed, they cannot be moved. Therefore, keep in mind what hand you're aiming for at the start of each game. After this, the players receive a single card at a time, face down for the next 8 cards, and decides in which of their 3 rows to place each card. After all 13 cards have been dealt, you compare your final hands in each row to your opponent's and total up your points. In this example, neither player fouled because both their bottom rows were greater than their middle rows, and their middle rows were greater than their top rows. Starting with the bottom row, player 2's full house beat player 1's flush, giving him +1. In the middle row, he beat player 1's pair of 10s with a straight, earning himself another point. He also won the top row for +1 with a pair of 2s over player 1's high ace. Player 2 also won an additional 3 points for scooping his opponent, or winning all 3 rows. In addition, both players received royalty points. Royalty points can be received when either your top row is higher than a pair of 6s, your middle row is stronger than trips, or when your bottom row is stronger than a straight. Now that we have royalty points settled, let's get back to totaling up the points. Player 2 received an additional 6 royalty points for a full house on the bottom row, 4 royalty points for a straight in the middle row, and because his pair of 2s doesn't beat a pair of 6s on top, he did not receive any royalty points for the top row. Player 1 received 4 points for the flush in his bottom row. However, because his middle row was lower than trips and his top row was lower than a pair of 6s, he did not receive any additional royalty points for his middle or top rows. Therefore, player 2 won this round with a total of 16 points. And that concludes our tutorial of how to play open-faced Chinese poker.